Well, guys, the New York Knicks just got a double dose of good news as Mitchell Robinson has been cleared for 5-on-5 contact in practice, and OG Anunoby is cleared to practice without restrictions, according to Tom Thibodeau. This is it. The fate of the Knicks franchise this season lies on health. Last season, I thought the Knicks could have beaten anyone. They ended up getting injured, losing in 7 games to Indiana. And this season, they've been without Mitch all year. OG went down recently, but both of those guys are back at practice. This is huge. OG will play Thursday, you'd have to imagine, against the Bulls, while Mitch should be back in early March. I mean, we're talking about Mitchell Robinson last season was playing the best basketball of his career before the injury. He had 104 offensive rebounds before December last season. No other player even had 80. I mean, he's the clear cut best offensive rebounder in the NBA, and he's going to be returning soon for the Knicks. So I'm very enthusiastic about that. But in terms of where we're at in the standings, there's been a lot of disrespect. This is the best Knicks team at the break that we've had since I've been alive, and I'm 26 years old. Most of you, I'd imagine, as well. I mean, if you were alive during, well, technically, I was alive during when we went to the finals, but I'm not going to say this is the best team yet because I think they've got a lot to prove. I mean, can they hang with the best of the best? 0-2 against the Celtics, 0-2 against the Thunder. Haven't beaten the Cavs. We will play them 3 more times, but still, the Knicks have a lot of work to do. But at the same time, they've constructed the roster to be able to beat the top dogs when they're healthy. OG, McHale being able to switch, Brunson and Cat with their scoring and their efficiency, Mitch, of course, with his defense and his rebounding, and then Deuce McBride, Campaign, Landry Shamet, Precious Achua off of the bench have got to step up and just really do what they've done all year. But they need more minutes, more opportunity. Can't just run the starters to the ground. That's going to be the key as well. But more depth means more versatility, which means you can go out there and you can match up better with teams. And I'm excited about it too, because when you're missing OG and Mitch, this is just not a very good team. Even if other teams are missing their guys, like OG is so important to the Knicks. You could argue he's the most important player to the Knicks because they didn't lose back-to-back games all year when he played last season. And Mitchell Robinson, look what he did against Embiid. Like, imagine if Mitch didn't play against the Sixers at all, I don't think we win that series. Like, Joel Embiid averaged 32, wasn't even close to 80% healthy. Yeah, Mitch played elite defense on him, blocked his shots, made him turn it over, take bad lackadaisical shots. So, I mean, this is just exciting to say the least for New York, but there's still a lot of, again, like I said, disrespect going around surrounding the Knicks. So, Brian Windhorst, if you guys don't know him, he's an analyst over on ESPN. I thought I screenshotted this. Yeah, I did screenshot it. So this is what Brian Windhorst had to say the other day about the Knicks. Quote, I'm not staying up nights worrying about the Knicks. In all honesty, I don't think they're that equipped right now to win the 12-game playoff games to win the East. Their team screams to me, great regular season team, and quote. So the Knicks, like I said, they haven't played the best teams well this season, which is something they have to work on. But at the same time, for one, Cat, McHale, like Campaign, Shamit, I mean, half the team, more than half the team is completely new. I mean, we're talking about not like role players. We're talking about McHale was the number one on the Nets last year. Cat, we know what he brings. Of course, he's a star in this league. So, and then the bench is new. So you have a completely new team. So it makes sense why the Knicks haven't exactly beaten the top dogs in the league. But the second half of the season, again, they're now more acclimated with each other and how they play and the chemistry. And Mitch hasn't played all year on top of that too. So chemistry, but then also being without Mitchell Robinson. Mitch makes a huge impact too, especially when you're matching up against like the Celtics and the Cavs, because the Celtics, Porzingis didn't play last game, but Mitch can take over a game, giving second opportunities, blocking shots, catching lobs, going up against the Cavs of Mobley and Allen with those sizemen, two basically 7-footers right there. So that's kind of the thing, is that they don't keep Windhorst up at night. One, because I don't think he watches too much Knicks basketball. If he doesn't think that the Knicks are capable of winning 12 games in the playoffs, that's completely preposterous to begin with. But fully healthy, I think they can, right? I was listening to, I don't remember who it was. I think it was CBS Sports. I could be wrong, but yesterday I was listening to a video, like podcast, whatever, and he's a Philly fan, and he did a playoff preview. The Knicks are the 3 seed, the Celtics are the 2 seed, which means they would meet no matter what. in the second round of the playoffs. And he did pick Boston to win. He picked Boston to win it all, but he did say that he wouldn't be shocked at all if the Knicks won. He was like, if the Knicks beat the Celtics, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I'm a biased Knicks fan. I personally would pick us to beat Boston, even though I think they're better, but I'm never going to pick against the Knicks. But to say we can't beat them is ludicrous. Like it's ridiculous, man. It's absurd because the Knicks are constructed to beat Boston, and in a 7 game series, really what it's going to come down to is Jalen Brunson. It's as simple as that, right? They're going to try to take him out of the game, but that's why you bring in Cat. Cat's going to have to give you 30 and 14 a night and good efficiency, which he's capable of doing. I mean, he's the most paid player on this team. Cat's been the best player all year, at least in my opinion. And that's not to discredit Brunson. He's been fantastic, but Cat's playing at an MVP level. Like Cat is basically playing at the level Brunson was last year for us too. So, and then McHale, OG, what can you get out of those guys? And then the bench, can the bench just be neutral? You can't bring in the bench and they're -7, right? Like they've got to at least keep the game close. If they're like a -2 or 3, I think that's fine. But the Celtics have a lot of firepower. They're an elite defensive team. The Celtics right now are giving up 108.1 points per game. That's fewer than the Cavs. The Magic are the only team in the league giving up fewer, but the Cavs are 44 and 10, man. They're having a really good year. Celtics are 5.5 behind them, but Boston defensively, the first game they didn't shut us down, but we couldn't stop them. The second game they did shut us down. That's kind of Brunson went off, but everyone else was neutralized. So it's going to be interesting. The Knicks play the Celtics this Sunday. They play the Cavs this Friday. So that's going to be something to monitor. But I'm excited. Like I said, I know I sound like a broken record, but it's time to go, right? It's time to go. It's time to prove that the Knicks can hang with these best teams, and nobody's going to argue. Some people will argue that the Bucks can beat us in a 7 game series. Some people would even pick the Bucks, but that's because it's the Knicks, and they just for some reason have fun just bashing the Knicks. But in my opinion, at least, nobody outside of Boston and Cleveland can hang with the Knicks. If the Bucks did, first of all, the Bucks would have to see us in the conference finals because they would go up against the Cavs in the second round. They beat the Cavs, we'd get the Bucks, and I'd 100% prefer to play the Bucks and the Cavs, even if the Bucks win that series, because the Knicks have a lot of bodies that throw at Giannis, McHale, OG, Precious, Mitch. We've got a lot of guys that just throw at Giannis, make someone else beat us, and Dame isn't still an all-star. He's still one of the best players, but he's not better than Jalen Brunson. So Brunson, I cannot play Dame. And then to that point, it's just someone makes somebody else beat you beside Giannis. Just literally form a wall like the Raptors did, and do not let Giannis come in the paint. I don't care if somebody gets an open three. Somebody's beating us outside of Giannis, right? So I would not mind to play the Bucks. They're just not the same, man. Like they lost Middleton, they bring in Kuzma. I just don't think the Bucks have a lot of depth. Without Giannis, they just can't win games. And I get it's Giannis, but like if you take Brunson off of the Knicks, they're not going to be that great, but like they can still win games. They're not going to crumble, right? They're still going to beat anyone besides like the guys ahead of them. So maybe not, but like the Pistons and the Pacers, I think would beat us, but like we would hang in there, right? We wouldn't like completely just fall out of the playoff picture. Like you take Giannis off the Bucks, they would. That's kind of what I'm saying is the Knicks like are very well coached with Tibbs and they got Cat and Bridges and OG. Like they'd be able to win games, but so I think that's what it comes down to is the Knicks do have a lot to prove, but at the same time, it's not like go out there and prove Brian Windhorst wrong. Like I really couldn't give two you guys know what about what Brian Windhorst has to say. It's just content. I want to get you guys videos. For those of you that don't know, this is my job. I'm not just to cover the Knicks. Knicks is one of the teams I cover. I am a Knicks fan. Don't get me wrong. I'm a diehard Knicks fan, but so it's just things to talk about. But it's pretty clear who watches Knicks games and who doesn't. Like even if you're a Knicks fan listening and you don't think the Knicks are winning the championship, that's fine. But to say that like they can't win 12 games in the playoffs, the East, I mean, that's the East. It's not the finals. The finals is 16, of course. So the Knicks are not capable of winning the East, and they wouldn't keep the Celtics up at night, or the Cavs, they would. Even if the Cavs beat us in 4 games, like they'd still be concerned. They understand the Knicks have a lot of talent, and they're going to be tough to beat, and they're going to be close games too, right? I mean, hopefully it's not like one of those series where it's like back and forth of blowout, blowout. Hopefully it's all close games too, because we're gonna get into this in my next video. I'm coming right back with a double upload. The Knicks are great. They're elite in the clutch. The reason for it is Brunson. So if games are close, you got to deal with Jalen Brunson. Good luck with that, man. Because I'm putting my money on Brunson any single day versus Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum. But yeah, I'm out, guys. Peace. I'll have another video out very shortly after this, man. About to take a lunch break soon, but